Good morning. How y'all doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you had a good, solid, and safe, productive weekend. Um, Today is a very, very special day. It's a very, very special week. Teacher Appreciation Week, and I know that on this during this time, I know usually we would celebrate a little bit differently, but I wanted to give you guys a shout out today and do something just a little bit different um, as we go through this week. And so as we celebrate this week, I am going to talk about some of the teachers who inspired old Jones here. Uh, who made a difference in my life. Now that it's funny. You get older, get just a little bit older. I say older, but you get a little bit older, and you look back on people that have had an impact on you, right? And so I've had time to sit back and think about it, and it's something that I've always thought about, something that I've always kept in the back of my mind of why it is I do what I do, and so I just wanted to, celebrate those, that have just had such a huge impact on my life. But I want to celebrate our DVMS teachers. Um, it was funny. I was looking at the news this morning, and it was talking about, how when will kids go back to school? Are kids falling behind and all this good stuff? And I got to thinking. I said, it's funny because we don't really think that we're appreciated a lot of times, and now you see parents, begging like, when y'all gonna get them back in school? I don't want my kid to fall behind. And so what I want you guys to know is that it's not a. I know secretly we laugh like, yeah, but I want you to understand and know how important your role is, and how important it is that we educate students. And so I wanted to start off today, and so I'm gonna go in alphabetical order, meaning that I'm gonna start with our English department first. I'm gonna talk about my top 5 teachers this week. So every day this week I'll have a video for you guys, but starting with English. So what made me love Elar? Uh, I would have to say it was in 7th grade. I went to Dobie Middle School. I had just transferred over to Dobie. I was at Lamar Middle School starting now, but I transferred over to Dobie because we moved. And I had a teacher at Dobie Middle School. Ironically, her name was Mrs. Jones. Kind of give you a little background story. Mrs. Jones. Mrs. Jones had been in education for a number of years. By the time I got over to Dobie, it was crazy because me and her son Marcus actually played football together in high school at Lanier High School. We played together for 2 years, and he's still a good friend of mine to this day. But Miss Jones was an awesome, awesome lady. Love Miss Jones, and so the one thing that was I still remember to this day was 2 things. So one day I was in class, and I called myself being the cool kid, of course, because I thought I was pretty cool. I'm fly. And I was giving Miss Jones the what for that day, boy. I was giving her the business. And I remember she not one time did she yell at me, did she scream at me, she didn't do none of that. And so she looked at me and she said, Daryl, she said, do you think that what you're doing is acceptable in my class? Man, what am I doing, Miss Jones? I'm not doing nothing. I ain't doing nothing. I ain't doing nothing nobody else doing. Again, I'm talking. And she said, I don't think your mother would like how you're acting right now. Well, I mean, I'm not doing nothing. I mean, I don't think my mama, me again, the typical 7th grade response, right? So she looks at me and she says, you know what? She said, I've talked to your mother. And she said, she told me that I could use whatever I need to use to get you lined out. Well, I'm thinking in my head, like, all right, that's another ploy. You a grown up. You ain't really talk to my mama. Yeah, right. Blah, blah. So Miss Jones picks up the phone in her classroom and proceeds to call my mama. Now, mind you, I'm in class with all the other cool kids, and my little girlfriend is in class too. And she gets on the phone with my mama, and she puts it on speakerphone. I was so embarrassed. And my mom proceeds to give me the business. and was like, Miss Jones, you do whatever you need to do. She's like, I'm not coming off my job. She said to deal with this boy today. She said, because if I got to come off my job, it's going to be a problem. And I said, and I knew what that meant already. Miss Jones happily hung the phone up. And let's just say the rest of the day went pretty good for old me and the rest of the year. But one thing I can remember that Miss Jones did for me that I'll never forget was we were doing a project in our classroom one time. And we had to make something in class to go along with the book we were reading or something to that effect. And so we ended up having to sew in class. Now, mind you, again, I'm a boy. Why I need to learn how to sew? This a bunch of nonsense, yada, yada, yada. I tell this story because it's so meaningful, because it's a skill that I've never forgotten. When she taught me how to sew in her class, I remember thinking that this will never come in handy, right? And I remember I had a shirt at home that it had a hole in it. It had a hole in it, and I was like, I think I can sew this up. And I remember I ended up sewing it up, and I did a great job sewing it up, right? Like, you couldn't even tell like where the hole was. Like, it was great. I sewed back on my buttons on my shirt. Like, I had lost a button one time, one of my polo shirts, and I sewed it back on. And so I tell that story about learning how to sew because Miss Jones, hands down, was the best ever. She taught me a skill that I've never forgotten. But not only that, though, Miss Jones took it upon herself to say, I'm not going to let this little boy fall short in my classroom. And I want to thank all of you that take that approach every single day, that you're not going to let the Daryl Joneses of the world fall short in your classroom, especially to all my English teachers. Thank you, English department, for everything you do. I am extremely, extremely, extremely blessed to work around such great individuals and such a great collective group as a whole. You guys rock. Continue doing what you're doing. Continue pushing forward and continue doing your thing every single day. Thank you for all your hard work. Thank you for all your caring. Thank you for all your love. Thank you for your frustrations. Thank you for all of it, because it lets me know and lets others know how hard you're working and how much you care. Sorry it was so long-winded. You all know me, but I wanted to get this out here today. Thank you, guys. Again, appreciate every single one of you for my DVMS English department. Tomorrow, we'll move on to the next. Y'all have a good one. And always remember, be on a mission for success. Mr. Jones, over and out.